How to cure loneliness. You're not gonna like this answer very much, but to cure loneliness, you have to stop fearing being alone. That's it. A lot of pickup artists, the reason why they're all in this success with women thing and why they keep chasing after women and after women and after women is because they're just afraid to be alone. Just sitting with themselves is just too much for them to bear. So they have to go outside and seek validation outside. Same for business people that just can't stop the rat race of getting more money and more prestige and more power. If you think you're the only one suffering from this affliction, well, if you walk around, let's say public transportation, and you look around you, you'll see most people on their phones, try to distract themselves, even reading a book. You probably know some of those people that seem to have a lot of friends and they hang out with people all the time. Every time you see them, they're always with a group of people. On the surface, it might seem like they never feel alone and they're always happy, right? Well, actually, when you're hanging out with people, that could be just another way of escaping, being with yourself. Escaping, just sitting with your own feelings, with your own thoughts and your own self. Society has already given us tremendous pseudo remedies to help with the issue of loneliness. For example, they tell you, oh, you feel lonely, go hang out with friends, watch a film, call a friend, talk to your parents, talk to your family, get a pet, get a this, get a that, listen to some music, whatever. Like, the distractions are endless. Even if you go in a bookstore and you pick a book on relationship and friendship and loneliness, what are they gonna tell you? They're gonna tell you the same exact things. To find distraction outside, right? To find the external validation somewhere else. To find the connection somewhere else. To try to connect. On top of this, science is backing this up by telling you, oh, well, the happiest people on earth are the people with the best relationships, the best friendships, which is true, but does that help you right now, right? Does that help you deal with loneliness, to know that to be happy, you need people around you, right? Science keeps telling you, oh, you need people. You need to hang out with others. You need all this, you need all that. And this is just fueling all this mess of, well, I really need to get out of this. It's making it hard for people to just accept. Society's remedies are founded upon the extrovert ideal, right? We think that being extroverted is the end-all be-all of happiness, is the end-all be-all of success throughout elementary school, high school, college, heck, even university. Throughout your whole life, throughout your whole beginning of life, we reinforce community, group, all those things, that you must be with people or else you're inadequate. Well, the truth is that you're not inadequate. Whether you're hanging out with 100 friends or 5 friends or 1 friend or 0 friends, it doesn't matter. It does not change your self-worth as an individual. But a lot of people like to believe that the more friends they have, the cooler they are. Reinforced through college, through high school. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck, man? Most of it is just ego comparisons with other people. Who's the most popular person? Who has the most media attention? Even as adults, we do that, right? Now with the invention of our phone, we'll go on Instagram and Facebook and try to get as many likes as we can, as many comments as we can, as many followers as we can, as many subscribers as we can, as many this, as many that, as many pictures as we can. It's just reinforcing this ego mentality of, I'm happy with people. But as I told you, the answer to cure loneliness is to stop fearing being alone. It's to stop escaping being alone. Society is telling you, if you're alone, go seek friendship. But I'm telling you the opposite. I'm telling you to reverse the order. Not you're unhappy and you seek relationships and then you'll be happy. No, it's you're unhappy, so learn to be happy. And then, only after you've done that work, then you can reach out to people. Sure, I understand if you're suffering deeply, feel very alone, and you really need other people in your life, then sure, go contact them. I'm not saying don't seek out help. I'm not saying just live by yourself, man, just like harden up. I'm not saying that. I'm saying do it from the right place. Don't do it from a place of lack, of, oh my God, I need them right now. No, I need myself. That's all I need. I have myself. I deal with myself first. I'll just sit through it a little bit. I'll learn to embrace myself, and then I'll call people for reassurance. Personally, me, what I do is when I have the feeling, I'll sit with the feeling for at least 1 minute to 5 minutes. And usually after 1 to 5 minutes, the feeling is gone. And then I'll contact them. As soon as you feel the void, just sit with it for at least 1 minute. Can you do 1 minute? It's not that hard. In the military, they have this saying that goes, suffer in silence. While this may sound very harsh and very brutal, well, there's some truth to that. If you're walking through icy water and you're shivering cold and you're hungry and you've been doing this for 18 hours straight, or 40 hours straight, and the other military guys around you are feeling the same, what would happen if you start complaining? Everyone else would have their attention drawn to that negativity and be like, oh fuck, if you learn to accept and suffer in silence, you'll be surprised to realize that the suffering will go away if you just suffer in silence. It sounds brutal, but if you can just sit through it and allow it to be, you'll realize it's not that bad. And the reason people make it to be so bad is because most people don't even have a minute a day to be with themselves, right? They're always distracted. What is suffering in silence? It doesn't have to be suffering, right? It literally is just you sit down and you observe your thoughts and you observe what's going on inside you, right? How you feel. You observe what's happening and you should just sit like that. That's all it is. Look, I just did it for 2 seconds. I just sat with myself here for 2 seconds. See, it's not that hard. I want you to stop believing in the extroversion ideal, right? I suggest you check out the book Quiet by Susan Cain. It's a very good book on how introverts are being really underrated in our society. Society is reinforcing you that you have to have friends. You have to have 50 friends. You have to have an amazing life. It's just a mask that they put on just to appear cooler than they are so they can make more friends, be more popular, right? What do you see on the internet? What I portray on my Facebook page, what I portray on YouTube, that's not me. That's just the work I'm doing. Who cares, right? It's just my work. You like it, awesome. You don't like it, whatever. Who gives a shit? I don't compare. And a lot of loneliness comes from comparison with others. Feeling inadequate because you feel that you believe that you're not who you're supposed to be, that you have to be this person with just 1,000 friends. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? Do you think that celebrities are the least lonely people? I don't think so. I think celebrities are probably the loneliest people because it's a lot harder for them to make deep connections because people around them, they just want to get something from them. Not only should you reject the idea of the extrovert being the ultimate, but you should love being with yourself. How do you do that? Meditation, contemplation of your own thoughts, of who you are. Take a few minutes a day to just sit down with nothing at all. Perhaps just a notepad and a pen and just note things down about how you're feeling. A journal, amazing thing to have, to learn to be more with yourself. Talk to yourself. Talk to yourself in the shower. Get to know yourself better. Be intimate with yourself. Most people love to believe that they completely know themselves, but the truth is you can always know yourself just a little bit more. There's always parts of yourself that you've forgotten, disregarded, perhaps your dark side, things you've repressed, you've forgotten that you've repressed. Maybe when you're lonely, you're thinking, well, I'd love to be intimate with more people, but there's one person you forgot to include in that, and that's yourself. Get to know yourself, not just the dark side, but also the lovely things about yourself. Eventually, by doing that, you'll cultivate independence. The things you think that you love doing with other people, do them by yourself. Going at a restaurant, going to the movies, who gives a shit? Maybe you'll have even more fun by yourself. Prove it to yourself. By doing so, you're also helping yourself to heal those childhood wounds. Always be afraid to be separated from your parents. By doing this, it's reinforcing your sense of self-worth and self-esteem, that you matter, that you can be lovable. Because if you can love yourself, then you're lovable. That's it. A lot of problems of, oh, I'm not lovable, and which is a lot of the root of where the deepest loneliness comes from. You can solve being unlovable by loving yourself first. Give love to yourself. Literally, like making love to yourself. Ha 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 ha. But also by, for example, get a cup of tea, drink it, appreciate it, and tell yourself, this tea is amazing, just like me. And you give yourself a hug like this. Sounds super stupid, it sounds kind of cheesy. Do it, try it out, you'll feel better. Then, when you've done all this work, appreciating your own introversion, then you can reach out to people. Then you can cultivate intimacy with other people. Then you can create a group where other like-minded people can join your world with who you can share all of this together. Share that experience, grow together, grow in intimacy, grow in relationships, grow in family. But you have to do the solo work first. This solitary work of getting to know yourself can be very difficult sometimes, especially when you've been by yourself for a long time. Maybe you're watching this and you have 0 friends. Maybe you do. And that must be really painful, and I really empathize with you. But what you can do is just learn to be intimate with yourself first. Release your anger by yourself when no one's here. If you have to, lie in your fucking bed and cry. And do that, and have empathy for yourself, not self-pity, not telling yourself, I'm such a piece of shit, but have empathy. That's different. It's looking at yourself and telling yourself, it's okay. If I'm feeling this, it's fine. There's no problem with that. Everyone feels lonely. Everyone. Look around you. Why are people on their phones? They might even tell you, oh, I never feel lonely. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm fine, dude. But then as soon as you stop talking to them, they take their phone out and right? Boredom can be a manifestation of that loneliness. Loneliness can manifest in different ways. It could disguise as perpetual anxiety, a compulsive need to seek distraction. But sometimes loneliness is just very small. It's like a little fragment of a little emotion that immediately repress, immediately hide from, because you don't want to feel it. Trust me, if you do the work, you will see that perhaps the loneliness thing permanently just doesn't become an issue anymore. Paradoxically, by doing this work, people will come to you. People will start seeking you out and asking you things and asking you to hang out with them. That's the weirdest of things I've experienced, is the more I work on my purpose, the more I work on those videos, the more I work on what I really love, the more I work on loving myself, the more people reach out to me. It's so paradoxical. The more they ask me, hey, do you want to hang out on Saturday? Yo, you want to do this? Yo, you want to do that? And people start inviting me out. It's the strangest of things, because they sense that you're this light of abundance and happiness, and they want to be around you. That's it. It's the weirdest of things. You have to try it out. Trust me. An exercise for you to do is, whenever you feel that feeling, it's very simple. Just sit down with yourself for a minute and don't do anything. Don't read a book, don't even write down anything. Just for a minute, sit, observe how you feel. And after that, just tell yourself, that's fine, I can still do whatever I was gonna do. And then do it. The more you give yourself reference that, oh, you know what, being by myself is not that bad. That's it, guys, thank you for watching. Leave me suggestions down there, because I read every single one of them and I reply to every single one of them. And the best suggestions, I'll make videos about it. I'll see you in the next video.